Shabbat Shalom. Before I embark on today's reflections, I want to take a heartfelt moment to wish my brother-in-law, Michael Feldman, a very happy 80th birthday. Alongside with Maury Levin, the three of us were fortunate to become brothers-in-law, sharing a chatunim of our beloved father-in-law, Harold Perlstein, and mother-in-law, Beatrice Saunders of blessed memories. I can almost see their smiles from above, witnessing the growth and strength of their family. Happy birthday, Michael, and here's to celebrating many more. In this season of Thanksgiving and gratitude, I would like to next extend my heartfelt thanks to Rabbi Starr and Rabbi Dolan for this opportunity to address our congregational family. This week, the Torah portion Va-yetzei holds a special place in my heart, as it also was the bar mitzvah portion of my son David, also on Thanksgiving weekend 33 years ago in 1990. In the Parsha, we hear the famous story of Jacob, who, leaving his hometown of Beersheba on his way to Haran, experiences a profound dream. He dreams of a ladder connecting the heavens and the earth, with angels ascending and descending between the realms. On October 7th, ladders of Jewish identity were swiftly reinforced, connecting the heart of every Jew worldwide with the land of Eretz Israel. This ladder exists not between heaven and earth, but between Israel and IDF reserve soldiers who were traveling abroad in Thailand, South America, the US, and elsewhere, who quickly ascended home. Between Israel and the Friends of Nations, who recognize Israel's right to defend itself and whose prayers ascend toward Israel. And between Israel and the diaspora, a ladder of Am Yisrael, our homeland, promised once again by God, this time to Jacob in this very Torah portion. Over the last 50 days, this ladder has facilitated the transversal of money, support, supplies, hopes, fears, prayers, and words of love in a way we could never have imagined before October 7th. On that dark Shabbat, 8 weeks ago, I was in Israel, visiting family, touring, and planning to celebrate Simchat Torah in Jerusalem at the Kotel. The joy turned to shock and sorrow as news of the heinous massacre reached us that morning, a tragedy of a magnitude not seen since the Holocaust in Europe and reminiscent of the Farhud massacre in Baghdad in 1941. The desire to take action led me to seek ways to volunteer at hospitals, but chaos prevailed. Returning home, my son David, having traveled with the American healthcare professional and Friend for Medicine in Israel, or the APF, 10 years ago, informed me of the urgent need for orthopedic surgeon in Israel. Without hesitation, I volunteered, marking the beginning of my journey back up the ladder back to Israel. Traveling with 2 other orthopedic surgeons and 2 dermatologists, we were the second group of physicians sent over by the APF. Distressingly, the first group was comprised of forensic pathologists tasked with helping to identify the victim of October 7th. Before delving into my experiences, a bit of context about my background. As many of you are aware, I was born in Alexandria, Egypt, 11 months before the establishment of the State of Israel. In my early years, our Jewish community thrived in a cosmopolitan city. However, with Nasser's right to regime power, things changed. In 1950, my aunts, uncles, and cousins, all dispersed to Israel and beyond, due to rising anti-Semitism. Stateless and non-citizen were finally left in 1966 with sans retours, no right of return harshly stamped onto our identification papers. My father, midnight arrest and detained for 4 days by Egyptian security official in 1965, prompted the need for our departure, first to Paris and then to Detroit. It took 56 years before I returned to fulfill a promise to show my children where I grew up just last year. Next week, on November 30th, Israel will commemorate the expulsion of Jews from Arab countries and Iran, a day of memorial for the over 850,000 Jews forcibly removed from Arab lands. While my life in the United States has been one of opportunity, my Egyptian family grew in Israel. There has always been a part of me that felt a longing, a desire to give back to Am Yisrael in Eretz Yisrael. When the APF request came, I seized the opportunity. My journey started back up the ladder, flying to Israel on El Al, filled with excitement and shared camaraderie. The flight attendants learning of our mission as physician expressed gratitude. There was even a pregnant woman who began to having contraction, and while it's been a few years since I last tended to a pregnant patient, I was able to assess that no imminent delivery was about to occur, and the plane continued onwards. In that moment, on that plane, we were all immediately family, a testament to the unique bond shared by the Jewish people. It is not a stretch to say we each have about 7 million family members in Israel. The terrorists on October 7 inadvertently connected us, united us, and strengthened us in ways unimaginable. Our journey through Israel unfolded across various army bases and hospitals spanning from the south along the Gaza border to the north near Haifa, including at the Golani base, an elite unit in the IDF. One thing I found interesting is that Israel does not have a separate VA system for its soldiers. IDF soldiers are brought to regular hospitals within the country, sharing spaces and hospital room within the civilian population. Our first stop was at Barzilai Medical Center in Ashkelon, the largest hospital near Gaza. The mass casualty event on that fateful day stretched the hospital to its limits. The chief of orthopedic surgery, living near Jerusalem but working in Ashkelon, rushed to the hospital, working tirelessly without any ancillary services. They had to manage everything themselves, from treating casualty brought in by car to operating without X-ray on urgent trauma cases. During our time there, we participated in orthopedic grand rounds, witnessing the aftermath of the trauma that the hospital had faced. We also visited soldiers in the intensive care unit who had sustained horrific injury. One young soldier, unfortunately shot in the spine, is now facing a lifetime of paraplegia. Another had a sciatic nerve injury, which will necessitate a leg brace for his foot drop. The resilience of this soldier was outstanding, and despite their immense challenges, each conversation concluded with a resounding proclamation to us, Am Yisrael Chai. While in the south, near the Gaza border, wearing military helmet and vest, we visited a military base where we met a commander originally from Muncie, New York. His duty in the days and week after October 7 involved the retrieving the body from the massacre. He shared with us the challenges they faced, including the use of IDF cadaver dogs. However, the dogs were called back because they detected the scent of death everywhere. We discussed the world's response the accusation by the world of denial and fake images, and the regret that he had for not documenting more of the horrific scene he had witnessed. He informed me he was solely focused on the kavod for the dead, never imagining that people would deny what happened. Back near Tel Aviv, we traveled to Tel HaShomer Hospital in Ramat Gan, the largest hospital in the country with over 2,000 beds. We met with the chief of surgery, who tended to the wounded on October 7th. One patient, a tank commander, had applied a tourniquet to his leg after being shot. It took over 6 hours before he was able to get to the hospital. He begged the surgeon to save his leg so he could break the glass under the chuppah at his upcoming wedding. Despite the surgeon's effort to save his leg, it ultimately had to be amputated. In an adjacent bed, another soldier faced a similar fate with an amputated leg and was struggling with depression at the road he now faces. The brave tank commander, now also an amputee himself, successfully lifted his spirit, demonstrating together as brothers that life could still hold a purpose for them both. We met with the commander's fiancée, who assured us that they will find a way to break the glass under the chuppah. But more importantly, I prayed that it is they, this next generation, that will, God willing, bring about the repair of the broken shards of our world. Our journey continued with visit to several orthopedic clinics across the country, at various Army bases, where we had the privileges of working alongside young Israeli IDF Army physicians. These physicians, a year or two from graduating medical school, eagerly absorbed knowledge from us on various orthopedic evaluation. Each clinic day, we examined about 40 soldiers with injury resulting from their demanding role and carrying heavy equipment. Back in the south, near Beersheba, fittingly where Yaakov started out on his journey to Haran in today's Parsha, we visited Nahal Tov base. At this base, on that particular day, we witnessed a massive influx of Israeli civilians setting up a tent city to cater to soldiers returning from Gaza. The atmosphere was truly remarkable, with a communal civilian-led effort to provide soldiers with everything they needed, including a tent mess hall, food trucks, and an impressive laundry machine truck, a flatbed stacked with washer and dryers, with regular civilians offering to wash their uniforms. The soldiers were examined in our clinic, allowing us to contribute to their care during this much-needed respite. Military medicine differs significantly from private practice, with soldiers requiring to meet a higher standard to return to combat. Even after recovery from injuries or surgery, like shoulder or ACL surgery, some of who I would have cleared to return to sports or the gym are not allowed to return to combat despite their intense desire and commitment to rejoin their brothers and sisters in their unit. Our liaison on this trip was IDF orthopedic surgeon Dr. Ronnie Feinstone, an orthopedic surgeon for the IDF who coordinated our visit to the bases. I also would like to mention and give thanks to my orthopedic colleague, Dr. Stephen Reich and Dr. Barry Grosser, who shared this journey with me. We met on Zoom and then in New York prior to our flight and formed a strong bond during this most unique experience. Prior to leaving on this trip, my grandson Oliver and his entire kindergarten class at Hillel Day School on short notice made over 50 cards for me to deliver to the soldier that I would be seeing and treating. The soldiers could not believe that Jews, children from America, had taken the time to create these cards to send messages of hope and love and to profess that we are truly one nation. Messages sent up the ladder that is reinforced with so much longing and concern for the future of our people. They were each truly in awe, and the messages, even those drawn by 5- and 6-year-old, resonated that together we truly are one. Am Israel Chai. In reflecting on this impactful journey, I am reminded of the interconnectedness that binds us all, Am Israel, a people connected by a shared identity and a profound sense of responsibility for one another. As we all grapple with feeling of sadness, helplessness, and fear in the face of recent events, it is crucial to recognize that each of us has the power to ascend a metaphoric ladder, connecting us to Israel and our broader Jewish community. Close your eyes and envision this ladder stretching between here and Israel. Despite the physical distance, we can bridge the gap in various ways. Consider volunteering your time and skills, supporting Israeli businesses and charity during this upcoming Hanukkah season, or extending a helping hand right here in our local community. In our collective yearning for healing and peace, let us channel our energy upward, transform feeling of sadness into acts of kindness and support. Embrace the opportunity to not only do good for Israel, but to uplift and strengthen Am Yisrael, the Jewish nation as a whole. May the spirit of unity and resilience that I witness among the brave soldiers of the IDF in Israel inspire us to rise above our challenges and extend ourselves in meaningful way. Together, we can contribute to a brighter future for our people. Am Israel Chai. Shabbat Shalom.